Hey, I'm Vin, and this is Give It Space. For the next few minutes, we're going to sit with one feeling, idea, social norm, identity, or just whatever might be weighing on us in this moment. Together, we'll explore where it comes from, why it lingers, and give it room to breathe without trying to fix anything. So get comfy, take a deep breath, and let's give it some space. Today's episode is about time, or the Matrix of Minutes. I thought that was a brilliant title, and so creative, and I did it myself. I made it myself. Anyways, we'll move on past that. I know that that's kind of a weird topic for a podcast. It's a very broad, very generalized subject, but you'll know what I'm talking about if you just bear with me for the rest of this episode, because I promise there's a point in talking about time, and it might be my favorite subject, might be my favorite topic so far. So bear with me. But regardless, I just think it's funny because it's a podcast about giving things space, and yet we're talking about time. So it's like space-time. But what we're not talking about is space-time and its continuum. So keep that in mind as we move forward. I've been rudely reminded lately that each year past means more responsibility, more stress, more commitment, more work, more time wasted just trying to make ends meet. And it can be hard to feel like you have any time for yourself. Time to live life, time to exist. Time, period. Just time. But time is something that exists around us. You can't see time. We all know what time is. Time is the progress of existence. It's the passing of events as they happened, are happening, or will happen, measured by seconds, minutes, hours, years, and so on. What they don't tell you is that time is an illusion. And stay with me on this one, guys. I know that's kind of a whack thing to say. Obviously, I'm not wearing my tinfoil hat today for the aliens, but time is an illusion. It's a social construct, actually. And I'm going to tell you why. So I guess I lied. Einstein's theory of relativity does kind of make an entrance here after all. Sorry, my bad for being a liar. Also kind of psycho. I am not a scientist. I'm not a philosopher. I am not some brilliant mathematician. So when I say time is an illusion, take it with a grain of salt. But we can all agree that time exists. And it's easy to understand and see how everyday people can get caught up in time itself, or the illusion of time. Things exist. Things change. They move and they flow in accordance to a system. But that system was named and manufactured by humans to help maintain order. In other words, we created time. We named it time. We manufactured it, we branded it, and then we sold it to everyone and made billions of dollars off of it. For example, time spent, time saved. That's corporate talk. That's crazy. Think about that for a second. You're spending time. I probably spend more time than I do spend money. Wild. We literally monetize something that we can't actually see, something that we can't control. Benjamin Franklin once said that time is money, and he was so correct. What the fuck, Benjamin Franklin? Why'd you have to say that? You went and manifested it. Now time is money, and I ain't got no time to spend. Anyways, the moment that you were born, your certificate of birth that says your name, that says the time you were born, is literally your ticket into the enterprise. You signed a lifelong contract to the higher powers that said that you'll abide by their rules, live the life that they're selling, and spend your time doing what they tell you to do. Think about it. A 9-to-5 job wasn't designed with the employee in mind. It's weaponized time, an illusion of structure and free will to distract you from reality. Humans were not meant to be so busy. We were not meant to sit all day on computers, in classrooms, talking on little boxes. Time is our greatest strength, our flexibility, how we're able to move through life, age, and inevitably die, accepting the inevitable. But that inevitable becomes less and less of an outcome and more of a threat as time becomes someone else's weapon to point and shoot. And sometimes the bullet is unavoidable. Not all of us will be able to break out of that system. A lot of us probably don't want to. And I'm not suggesting that you go live off the grid and tell seasons with groundhogs, even though we do that and it's kind of weird and we all know what the seasons are based on the temperature. But I'm simply saying that being aware of how your time is used and how your flow changes when you listen to your body is sometimes the best solution. It's like the saying, a watch pot never boils. We've become so accustomed to formatting our lives around a clock that we are forgetting how to live, how to exist in a moment without calculating how many minutes of our shift is left, how many hours until dinner, how many months until that concert, how many years until I can retire. We get overwhelmed by time. I can't tell you how often I hear someone say that they feel like they're running out of time, or that they feel behind in life. I felt it too. I'm sure you felt it. Sometimes I catch myself thinking, oh, well, if I die tomorrow, I haven't lived a good life. I didn't do anything I wanted to accomplish. I've accomplished nothing. My life meant nothing. Because the majority of my time has been sitting behind a desk in a classroom or at a job, making money, trying to make ends meet. My favorite memories and the moments I felt most alive and the most free in my life are those where I had no sense of time. No planned events, no schedules or deadlines. When I could just be a kid going to ride bikes until the street lamps came on and then I had to go home. Or playing outside until my mom yelled at us that we had to finish our homework first. And even then, I wasn't looking at my phone checking the time until I could go back out and hang out with my friends. I wasn't thinking, oh, well, I have to get to school by this time, so that means that I have to wake up by this time, and that means I have to go to bed at 8 o'clock, and that means I have to have dinner by 6 o'clock, and that means I have to be done with my sports at 4 o'clock, and that means I have to be out of school by 3 o'clock. Like, that's not how my brain functioned. That's not how my world functioned. And I'm not saying that you have to be a kid to have fun and enjoy a timeless life. It's just sometimes we get so preoccupied with our schedules and our routines and the social construct of time in a day that we feel like we have to have everything organized. We feel like we have to have everything planned out in order to maximize how our day is spent. And that's the illusion, that you have to do that. You don't have to do that. I mean, it's easy right now to do that because most jobs have been formatted that way. Most schools have been formatted that way. So that way you spend most of your time occupied doing whatever they tell you to do or whatever they tell you is best for you. But it's not best for you. It's just what makes them money. But those moments, like I said, happen so rarely now. I'm not a kid anymore. I'm not a teenager. I'm not in college anymore. And it makes me feel like I've accomplished nothing. Like my life has amounted to nothing. Like I'm just wasting my time. Wasting my life. But I have so much time. I'm literally only 22. I haven't even lived half of my life yet. So why is somebody else's opinion? Why is somebody else's timeline? Why is somebody else's life decisions impacting how I feel I should be running my life? I don't care what somebody online says about, a trip to Japan that they're taking, but yet at the same time I do, because it's not me taking that trip to Japan. And therefore I feel like I'm not living my life because I'm not seeing the world. I'm not making enough money to go to Japan. But who knows? Maybe in 3 years I'll have the money to go to Japan, and maybe I spend 4 or 5 years in Japan and not just a week in Japan. Like, you never know what your life is going to turn into, how things are going to change, how opportunities are going to come and go, how your day might look like a 9 to 5 right now, but then in 2 months it could look like you being your own boss. You have no idea. I get so distracted by the big picture, distracted by years, hours, minutes, Eastern time and Central time, military time. Well, what about right now? This is the present, right here. This sentence is happening now. You're listening to each of these words come out of my mouth right now. You're not thinking about the next 2 years worth of words that I haven't said yet. And now those sentences that I just said have happened. They're the past now. That was then. Sometimes when it all seems too big, too scary, too heavy, you just have to break it up into bite-sized pieces. Stop thinking in matters of seconds and minutes and hours and just start thinking about now. Because honestly, nothing else really matters. This moment can be anything you want it to be. You could spend the next 5 hours thinking about how to maximize your time, or you could just run a lap around your house for the hell of it. You could scream at the top of your lungs just because. You could get in your car and take a night drive and just blast your favorite music with no destination in mind, because why not? Why the fuck not? Or you could try something that I've been attempting lately, which is intentional boredom. Yeah. Instead of just laying in bed and doom scrolling or going on your computer or binge watching a new show on Netflix, just be bored for 10 minutes. 5 minutes if you really can't handle 10 minutes, but 10 minutes is pretty easy. Don't do a meditation. Don't do journaling. Don't go outside and take a walk. Don't read a book. Just lay there, sit there, stand there. Maybe go outside and sit down and just be bored. You could pace around your house. You could sit outside and watch the birds. You could listen to the cars go by. You could listen to the trees as they blow in the wind. You could stare off into space for 10 minutes, or you could close your eyes and take a 10-minute power nap. Just be bored. Be in the moment. Feel the moment. And don't be distracted by things that don't matter. Because part of that feeling of my life has amounted to nothing, if I die tomorrow, what I did today was useless. That's how my brain thinks. Tomorrow, I won't like what I did right now or yesterday. But if I allow myself to be bored, if I allow myself to not have plans, then that narrative changes. Because then I wasn't just doom scrolling and wasting my time. I was allowing myself to be in the moment. There's nothing wrong with that. We've been conditioned to think that it's wrong to pause, to need space, to be bored, to do nothing. It's not wrong to do those things. And it was interesting to see where those 10 minutes led me. Those 10 minutes of just doing nothing. When I did it, I noticed that I was doom scrolling for like an hour. And I was like, well, that's an hour of just consuming media, consuming lies, consuming whatever everybody else is doing that I can then compare myself to. I don't want to do that. I don't want to spend my hour like that. So I put the phone down and I laid on my back in bed and I just stared at the ceiling. And I could hear birds and I could hear my parents moving around in the house and I could hear cars go by. I could hear my neighbors outside playing and I just did nothing. I soaked up the sun that was coming through my window and I just sat there and I did nothing for 10 minutes. I didn't even set a timer. That's the thing. Do not be around a clock. Don't set a timer for 10 minutes. Don't be around a clock watching the minutes. Just sit there for as long as you feel like you can and let yourself be empty. Head empty, smooth brain in it. Smooth brain in it. Smooth brain. No ridges or bumps. No valleys or bumps. Smooth brain. The last time I did that exercise, like I said, I was just staring off into the ceiling, but I ended up thinking about dinosaurs. It was like a train of thought moment where I was thinking about being bored, and then I was like thinking about space, and then I was thinking about time, and then I was thinking about dinosaurs. And then that's what led me to this podcast. I was thinking about dinosaurs, and then I started thinking about ancient civilizations who used sundials to tell time and the passing of the seasons. And it led me to literally writing this episode and to being here right now, talking about this right now. Those people, even those dinosaurs, obeyed the natural laws of time, adjusting their sleep to the night sky, adjusting the crops that they planted to the seasons. But their routines aligned with their bodies. You would hunt when your mind is sharp and when the animals that you were hunting were eating or grazing or sleeping. But we can't live in a world without organized time. That just can't happen. We've evolved to the point where we've created time, we've understood time, we've created calendars. We get paid by the hour. We always take lunch breaks from noon to 1. Even in school, you take recess at a certain time. That's just how we've progressed as a species. But maybe the less aware we are of the moment, of the minutes, of the hours, of the years, of the seconds, the more relaxed we would be. Like I remember in elementary school, when I was bored of a class, all I would do is stare at the clock and wait and wait and wait for the bell to ring. It's like that one scene from High School Musical where they're all waiting for the clock or the bell to ring for summer, and then they start singing and organized dancing. Sometimes that's how it feels to live life. You're just like anticipating something. You're just waiting around for something better to happen, to not be bored anymore, to not be at work anymore, to not be consumed by the system. Maybe the less aware we are of the moment, of minutes, of hours, of days, the more relaxed we would be. We can use the illusion of time, the structures put in place regarding time, to assist us in prioritizing what's actually best for us. One of my main grievances with the way that our day-to-day schedules are run is that it leaves no time for me to spend prioritizing myself. If I work an 8-hour night shift, I can't shower when I get home. I can't cook a healthy, clean meal. I can't sit down and talk to my sister or talk to my friends before going to bed. Is it so crazy to just want 5 hours a day to just do what I want? Is that so crazy? 5 hours when I'm not working or sleeping to choose to do something for myself without having to wake up at 6 a.m. or go to bed at 2 a.m. for it to happen. To spend time actually enjoying the minutes, enjoying the hours where I'm not responsible for doing something important like working. Oh my God, what I wouldn't give, when I tell you what I wouldn't fucking give to be able to come home after a shift at work, have groceries ready, because I planned ahead and I went to the grocery store on Sunday, and now after my shift on like a Wednesday, I go home, I spend like 3 hours cooking a meal, just opening a bottle of wine, making pasta from scratch, making sauce from scratch, mixing it together, sharing it with friends, sharing it with family, sitting down, chatting, petting a cat, watching TV, eating the food that I made, and just unwinding. I have never been able to do that. I have never had that much time and that much space to be able to actually spend a solid hour or more making something for myself, cooking something for myself, crafting, trying a new hobby, playing a song, going outside, whatever. It has been so long since I've even had that much amount of time to myself. And the last time it happened, it was like I had to be high. I had to plan my extra fun day of the week where I didn't have work the next day. I had enough time at night to be able to take an edible a good amount of time before I had to go to bed, so I wasn't like still high when I went to bed. And then while I was high, I had to plan activities to do because I didn't want to just sit around and do nothing. And I baked a cake for my dad's birthday, and it was really fucking good cake, and I'm very proud of it. But that was the last time that I was able to do that. And even then, I had to arrange my schedule around certain times. I had to use a timer to make sure that the cakes didn't burn in the oven. I had to schedule when I would take the edible in order to not be high too late into the night and to go to bed at a decent time. And then I had to make sure that I didn't have work the next day. So even when I was supposed to be relaxing and unwinding, I couldn't even do that because I still had to think about time and the time that it would take for me to accomplish everything that I wanted to accomplish within a framed amount of time or a framed schedule. I want to be able to go to the beach and journal whenever I want, obviously within reason. Like I'm not going to go on my lunch break from work to go to the beach and journal, although that would be amazing if I could do that, although it takes an hour to get to the beach from where I work. But to do that, just after work, go to the beach, calm down, journal, go back home, sleep it off, or to be able to go clubbing and not have to think about, well, I can't get too drunk, or I can't drink too many drinks, or I can't stay out too late because I have work the next day and I don't want to show up hungover or too tired or whatever. I want to be able to listen to my body and not listen to a clock. Like I can't even picture a week doing that. Like what would a week in my life look like if I could just do whatever? Like if I had the perfect schedule for work and I said, okay, if you want me to work an 8-hour shift, then I want these hours instead. And if I got those hours and it allowed me to go home and unwind for an hour, and then I could go play beach volleyball, and then I could go to a club, and then I could come home and make dinner, and then I could watch a movie, all before my body tells me to get some rest. I can't even. Oh my God, it would be like an oasis. It would be paradise. I think that's what paradise looks like. Is just the ability to do what I want in the moment, what my body is telling me to in the moment, and not have to worry about how it fits into my schedule. And on that note, we're going to give time some space. As I've said before, I'm not a professional, not a therapist, not a life coach, or a motivational speaker. But this is something that I do in all of my episodes. And if you've listened to any of my episodes before, then you'd be familiar with it. So now's the time to start prepping for what comes next. I want to acknowledge that it's hard to view time as a social construct, to view it as an illusion, because for some of us, it's all we've ever known. And it's all we ever will know, because we as a species are not able to evolve beyond time. Time will always exist. Time will always be important to us. So it's time that we just recognize it within ourselves, that we recognize the patterns and the habits that we've gotten into in order to adjust to a society that revolves around time and monetizes time. So if you'd like to join me in this exercise, you can start by taking a deep breath in through your nose and out through your mouth. If you're in a safe place, try closing your eyes, becoming less aware of your physical body and more aware of your mind. I want you to remember to live in the moment as much as you can. Ground yourself in the present. We are all human beings, meant to ebb and flow with our planet. We're meant to change and adapt. Time has always existed. The planet revolves around the sun. The winter brings spring. But that doesn't mean we need to exist on a schedule. We are allowed to move at our own pace, to live as if we were children again, in nature, without watches and phones constantly reminding us of our timely obligations. We don't have to think in terms of hourly shifts, of weekly schedules, yearly commitments, early retirement, or even life up until death. Just gently remind yourself that today exists to be better than yesterday and to prepare us for tomorrow. And if you find yourself stressed over time and about time, you can repeat these affirmations after me. I am safe and secure in this present moment. I am embracing the gift of today. I am present, mindful, and engaged in each moment of my life. I have all the time I need to accomplish what is important. There is no expiration date on my dreams. I release the need to hurry. I can relax because I have all the time that I need. And with that, you can open your eyes and come back to this moment. Time is so many things, but it should never hold you back. You are not behind. No one else is ahead. You can't buy time just like you can't buy life. But time can be stolen from you. And apparently, it can also heal all wounds. But we're not going to get into that. I leave you with this today. It's one of my favorite movie quotes. It's from the end credits of Ferris Bueller's Day Off, when he says, "Life moves pretty fast. If you don't stop to look around once in a while, you might miss it." And I think what he means is that the more distracted you are by the nuances of today, the classes, the calls, the driving, the cooking, the planning, the saving, the worrying, the isolation, all of it, the more likely you are to ignore the reality of the situation, which is that life is meant to be lived, not timed. Wow, I'm so deep. I'm so deep, you guys. I'm so smart. Wow. Anyways. And I also, just before you leave and I say goodbye, I want to remind you, and this might sound familiar if you listened to my last episode or follow me on Instagram, my mini-series Rinse and Replay is officially active as of right now. So cool. The Google form for submissions is linked in my Instagram bio. It's a tap link, and it should just say Rinse and Replay submissions. It's also in my YouTube bio, and it will be in the show notes for this episode, so you can find it anywhere. Similar to Reddit stories, you submit memories of embarrassing moments, past arguments, or times you didn't have the right comeback and only now thought of a good comeback years later, and typically in the shower. I don't know why. You can submit them anonymously or use made-up names, because selected stories will be read on the podcast by me and potentially a guest. So we will be doing live reactions and live commentary to your stories. So get them in as soon as you can so you can be the first one to ever have a story read on Rinse and Replay. And I want to say again, it's not meant to be making fun of anybody. It's not to give advice or say that you were wrong or right. It's to help you get these memories off your chest and out into the open, for an unbiased party to read and decipher what you were talking about, what happened, or what you might have said, what you didn't say, what you wanted to say, or what learnings happened, or what emotions were felt, or what habits lied underneath the surface. Whatever it is, we're just there to talk about it. Share your story, go write it down, write me a little fun note at the end if you want to. Tell me what your favorite color is. Send in a picture of your pets if you want. Love cats. Love me some cats. So yeah, get those stories in, because I'm really excited to hear what you guys have to say. And yeah, I think it's going to be really fun. Thank you so much for listening. I'm really grateful that you're here. This is Give It Space, your virtual room to slow down, breathe, and just be for a moment. If you want to support this podcast and me, you can get updates and sneak peeks into upcoming episodes on Instagram, or subscribe to my YouTube channel for full videos and bonus content at Give It Space Pod. I'm always happy to hear your feedback or thoughts for future topics, so you can DM me on Instagram or shoot me an email at giveitspacepod@gmail.com. I'm your host, Vin, and I will see you next time. Oh my God, did you hear my back just crack? Damn. Not is it what? No. Okay. I feel like I said nothing funny. I'm not always smart. Sometimes I'm dumb. Dumb. Sometimes I'm dumb. Like the asshole revving that car right now. Small dick bitch. Get a life. Yeah, anyways, like, what was I saying? Oh, sometimes I'm dumb and I want to sound smart. And when I write, I sound smart because I'm good at writing and I can use big fancy words in my writing. So then I write the script so that way when I come on here and say things, I sound smart and I don't sound stupid. A fucking Rick rhymes. No, it's a mess. So anyways, I'm gonna go now. Whoa, no. Okay, bye.